Hello my friends, and welcome back to A Drill and a Dream. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood here. I will admit it's a little chilly, but spring is definitely on the way, and the sun is shining. It feels so nice. Yesterday was literally the most beautiful day of the year, easily. It was like almost 60 degrees, I think, and I was stuck at work, but I enjoyed looking out the window at it, and it really got me going, thinking about all of the plans for the springtime and for the summer and for this season. So I've been wanting to make a video kind of just to tell you what my ideas are for this season, my hopes, goals, and dreams for this warm weather time. So as many of you know, I live in northern New York, it definitely has a full winter. Let's leave it at that. So the times of working outside are very shortened. Usually in April, the snow is mostly gone. So from April until like October, you know, there's lots of stuff to do outside. And then November to March is a lot of snow and coldness, which is okay. And I like that just fine. I like the 4 seasons, but it definitely puts a damper on the amount of things that you can do outside and with gardens and everything like that. And even in March and April, all the snow's melting, it's so muddy, and it's just like kind of a disaster zone. But that is also, I think, when you feel like the most rejuvenated to do things because you've been cooped inside and cold all winter long. And so the first tastes of warm weather and sunshine just really makes you want to get out there and get to work. So I'll show you a bit about what is going on around here, how things are looking. I will admit, it looked so gorgeous all winter long. I mean, obviously the house wasn't sided and it's a trash hole, but it was covered with snow. Everything was covered with snow, and it just gives this layer of white and pretty and sparkly. And when spring comes, oh my goodness, does life turn into a trash zone. Like, not only are things kind of gross around here anyway, and they need to be cleaned, and I feel like when we were finally moving in, it was December, and we didn't have time to clean up around the outside because we were so laser focused on actually moving in. So everything is just gross, construction wise. Add to that the fact that everything looks gross in the spring because it's muddy, the grass is all brown, the snow is just brown, everything's brown and gross. So I'm going to warn you, it's not going to look pretty, but I am going to show you where we are at now, and we can talk about what we want to do in the future. So last time I gave you a tour of the outside, it was covered with so much snow, and I can't believe even just yesterday how much snow has disappeared from that warm day, especially in the back of the house, and I will show you that later. It was all covered with snow yesterday morning when I woke up. No joke, and now it's just not. So one of the big things I want to do is get this cleaned up. Look at how wretched it looks. Seriously, ugh, gross. So cleaning up the porch is my #1 priority. Probably on the very first warm day that I am home, I want to do porch cleanup. Get rid of all the junk, probably burn a lot of the lumber scraps and stuff. Put this thing somewhere. Oops. Hey, I was just looking for one of these this morning. I had it on my list. I really wanted to put this thing up on the porch. I need this. Before the snow, and I never got to it. But I will say, I got this from Patio Well, and it's supposed to be, you know, weatherproof, obviously, on the inside and stuff. And it has been out with layers of snow on it all winter long, and the insides look completely good. Everything looks dry, and so that's a win. Thankfully, there's not too much stuff in there, but move this somewhere. So I've been trying to really think about all that I want to do big picture and trying not to bite off more than I can chew for this season. And I think it would probably be a good idea for me to do like maybe a 5-year plan for my goals of house exterior stuff, but I have not done that yet. I did, however, make a this year checklist of hopefully things that I can get done. But like I said, I need to think about like the priorities and put them in order, because some things are more, they don't have to be done this year, but I'd like to have them done. So in this general porch area, Well, for one, the main thing for this year, and especially the main like money taking thing, is going to be siding the house. I still haven't 100% decided. I need to do some actual research, go to some places, get some prices and stuff like that on different siding options. So I'm not totally sure about that. What I do know is that I'm going to hire it done. I feel pretty confident about that. Maybe like get some Amish crew, get an Amish crew to do it or something like that, because it's not a job that I really want to take on personally. It does not actually sound fun, and I feel like just a crew could just get her done in a couple days, and wouldn't that look so nice? I'm really excited. I mean, just wow, to have that sided, and like even that is just house wrap over there, and there are just so many yucky things going on. To have it all done up with new siding, like, game changer. It already looks so nice, but the siding is really pretty bad. So porch wise, what I'd like to do is put on the railings this year, which I don't think that would be a horribly huge job. Put on the railings, put up the exterior lights and exterior outlets, and potentially, although this doesn't have to be this year if I don't get to it, but potentially also do the ceiling of the porch. I want to have wood across the whole ceiling, and I think that will make a really big difference in the look of it. I'll show you what it looks like now. It's just strapping or whatever, but loaded with cobwebs and stuff, and I think that having a nice ceiling would help with that. Also nice siding. Obviously there are still spiders and stuff that you would need to clean, but something like this, how would you even clean that? It's just so gross, so gross. And sitting out here would be so much more pleasant if this was all covered up in a nice, pleasant way. I still want it to have the slant because I really like the slant, gives the higher ceiling sort of feeling. But yeah, it's gross. So it'd be really nice to be not gross, especially because, you know, I have big plans for the patio out back, but that's definitely not going to be a this year job. That would be too much. Yeah, so that's down the road. So this is probably going to be the main sitting area for sitting outside and relaxing. So you want it to be nice and clean feeling and not feeling like, okay, I'm sitting here with my coffee and I think that a spider is going to go down into my cup. That's gross. So yes, porch wise, it's the railing, the ceiling, the lighting, all of that I think is not a terribly big job compared to some other things. Seems reasonable to perhaps get done this summer season. I'm really hoping, and I really need to get going on this, I'm hoping that I can figure out the siding situation and get that going in the earlier spring. That would be the ideal, which really means that I need to get grooving on it. Because honestly, you would want that done first, I think, before you worked on the other stuff. I mean, it's probably, I think it would be easier for it to be done. And another thing that I really want to do with the porch is a garden, and I just think it would be so much easier if the siding was already done and not having the traipsing situation. So I'm really trying to limit my gardens for this year because I know that I don't actually have like skills and stuff, and I do not want to have all these gardens that I don't take care of. I need to train myself to take care of my gardens, and that means I need to start small. Even like that little garden we did last year with the lilacs, it was cute and everything, but it just got like overgrown and I didn't ever do anything with it. I thought that putting mulch on it would help, and it probably did help some, but it didn't stop the weeds, and so you still have to do work, which last year was so hectic, and this year will be too, but in a different, better, much better way. So I'm hoping I can maintain some, but that's why I want to start small. So I'm planning on having that lilac garden again, you know, pretty that up, and then I do want to start a garden here. So I'm thinking kind of around the porch, maybe around the bay window. I'm not totally sure about the bay window situation, but I'll probably just plant a few perennials in it, keep it super simple, and just try to get some things growing, because I know we had a small garden like that at our last house, and the first year we put in hostas and lilies, that's basically it, hostas and lilies, and then we did some annuals every year. But the hostas and lilies were so small the first year, and then the next year they got a lot bigger. So things like that I want to really try to get 1 year ahead of the game by planting them this year, so then by next year they'll be bigger. And same with the stuff in the back, things like bushes and hostas and stuff. I might plant some of those this year. I don't know. Back's even more of a mess, but we'll get to that. So for the front garden, I want to do that. Another big thing that I have on my list, it's actually a small thing, but big in importance, is that this summer season, I really want to get some gutters on the roof and some snow stoppers, because holy guacamole, I know we had way more snow than we usually do this past year, but talk about dangerous. The amount of snow that fell, like right in our walkway where we walk out of the house, like if it had fallen when we were walking right there on our heads, I genuinely think it would have killed us. It was so much snow. I mean, when it was like Abbey height of snowfall, and then we had to shovel a little path to walk through. It was so ridiculous. So I want to get some of those little spikes or something, especially where the walkways are, so that it doesn't fall on your head and kill you. And gutters, I want to figure out the gutter situation specifically around the bay window, because that's where it was all kind of coming into the same place, and it rotted out a portion of the foundation. That's why we had to redo the foundation to some degree. So I'd like to get that fixed before it happens again with all my new stuff. It would also be nice to not have, like, put little rain gutters over the two little walkways, the front door and the side door, so that it's not all pouring down on your head when you're walking out. So little things like that I really want to get working on. It was nice to live in the house for a few months this winter so I could see some of the problems and, you know, just live with them. But then this summer I can try to fix them. One of the big problems that I know is top on my priority list is the driveway. So the driveway currently is kind of just a little shot in from the road. There's not really room to park two cars next to each other, which means that either one person is blocked in, because me and my sister live here, or, I mean, you want this anyway. Even if I lived alone, I would still want this. But one person is blocked in if you're right one after another, or somebody's parked on the grass. Now, in this past winter, we had so much snow, so it was all plowed up in every which direction, and we could park right on the grass, which was fine because the ground was frozen. But once the thaw comes, you'll find yourself in a problem like this. And of course, this is with us really trying not to drive on the grass, and still, you know, ruts everywhere. And I almost got stuck one time because there were like multiple people here, and I had to park in the grass, and I left the next morning and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to leave. So it was a bit of a mess. I really want to widen the driveway at least. I have a ditch here by the road, and there's a culvert underneath, but there should be enough room to at least widen the driveway some, or even if it widened once it got into my area here, at least so there's enough for two cars next to each other. And either way, I need more stone or whatever you put on driveways just to fill in the bumps and the holes. There's still a pretty, I mean, I filled it with some rocks, but when we had that flood last, whenever that was, it made a big rut there. So I filled it in some, but it still would be a lot better if I had some stone. So I want to widen the driveway a decent amount. Big picture, I'd really like to have some, it is so hard. So like some sort of a pull out so you could pull in would be really nice, but I'm not sure where the best place is for that. We have some restrictions because of where the septic tank is, and you can't obviously drive on that. And big picture, way down the road, I would like to have a garage, and even that is questionable. I mean, I think I'd probably have to do it maybe kind of at an angle right there, which is kind of unfortunate. It'd probably be right about where that little garden is. But I don't know any better place to do it, because you can't keep driving straight there through the septic tank, and I don't know. But for now, for this year at least, maybe get a load or two of stone, however that works. Maybe excavation, straighten things out, make it better at least. So we're already making quite a list for ourselves. House siding, porch stuff, driveway work, new gardens. I do think though that this year is going to be the year of such improvements on the exterior. I'm really, really excited to see how it all looks because the inside is so gorgeous, but the outside is so trashy. Honestly, I don't remember if I've already said this, but the next nice day, we are going to clean up this porch and don't hold me to that because sometimes I'm just lazy. But we're gonna clean up this porch and I can't wait to see that. I could also probably take down the Christmas lights, you know, stuff like that. Another thing I really need to do is get more comfortable with my little tractor because I know that a lot of this stuff, even smoothing out the ruts and stuff like that, I could really do. I just need to practice more. And I think that what I want to do is, I never took the mower off and I didn't actually use it this winter to plow. My dad plowed. He did try my tractor once and he didn't like it, especially because the mower was on. So I need to figure out how to take that off because it's hard. I don't actually think it's that hard to do if I just learn how to do it, but I feel like a lot of this rutty stuff and moving in uneven grounds would be more beneficial if I didn't have the mower and I don't want to hurt the mower. So really I just need to figure it out, watch my YouTube video and figure out how to take the mower off so I can do more work and practice around with that. Especially in the back here. I'll show you what the back is looking like. So I have not been behind this snowbank all winter long. So this is my first time too. And I've noticed from looking in my back windows that the snow is melting a lot. So I think it's about time we go and take a look. Woo! Sliding through. Okay. So for example, you guys remember how in one of the recent videos that I sent you, the snow was up above here. And now look how much it's melted. So it's a big difference back here. If you are new and don't know my vision, this area back here I want to turn into a beautiful, beautiful stone patio someday. But that someday is not this day. And this day, what I want to do, / this summer, what I want to do is focus on back here, because grass does grow back here, but it's such a mess to try to mow and stuff. So I really want to clean out all of the rocks, try to smooth this out, and that's why I'm like, I really want to work with the tractor more and just do it, just learn how to do it. Because I have that box blade scraper thing that I think would be beneficial to just kind of keep scraping and cleaning up all the stones. I think it might even kind of collect the stones. It looks like it kind of collects them. So get rid of all the stones, try to make this as smooth and nice as possible because I don't know when I'm going to get my stone patio. I don't even know if it'll be next year. It's going to be a big project and probably an expensive project. So I have to think about like, okay, so this year I want to do the siding, maybe next year I work on the patio or however I go, and maybe try to stick to like one big project a year. So what I really want to do is smooth all of this out and try to make some nice grass growing here, because if nice grass is growing here, you can still enjoy time out here. I actually have like a hammock that I brought over from the other house that we haven't used over there, but you know, I could put a hammock out here and just listen to the creek and it would be beautiful. Put some chairs out here anyway. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. Still make it nice, but just the free kind of nice. The hard work kind of nice. So this is the opposite angle of where you guys just were. And this whole area back here is kind of newly excavated because of the septic tank being put in and the leach field and all that jazz. So when he was working on that, he kind of leveled this all out. Of course, we have this big pile of stones. I don't know what to do with anything. I probably should have told him to put them somewhere else because he asked me, but I didn't know where to put them. And so now they're kind of just here. So I don't know. But this whole area back here, I think I also want to try to smooth out and make it grass growing, and make it grass growing in a nice, smooth enough way that I can easily mow it without feeling like I'm ruining everything, my brand new tractor, because that's how I felt back here, and I did not like that. So really just a lot of smoothing, a lot of cleaning up rocks, a lot of just trying to turn this into a nice lawn area, which I think is going to be a really, really lot of work. But it is so exciting, all of the work that he did do, because up here, this is a lot more smoothed out than it ever was before. And there's still a lot of work to do, absolutely. But this looks a lot nicer than it did. And again, I have to work on cleaning up sticks, stones, get an excavator maybe in here again and do another load of cleaning. I don't know. Wow, it's so overwhelming, a lot of work. But then again, so wasn't the inside of the house, and step by step, we made it beautiful. By the way, you guys thought that the front of the house looked bad. How bad does the back of the house look? It looks terrible. I think that the front of the house was, actually I remember this, it used to all kind of look like that because all of the paint had come off. I think it was maybe a light yellow color of paint, but it was almost all off. And then I guess everything but the back got painted white years ago. So that's why it looks not terrible from the front, but the back was never painted. And so it looks really, really quite bad. Thankfully, you don't see it from that angle very much, but you sure will when you have a nice little space out here that you want to spend time in. Okay, so let's talk about the back garden, the forest garden that I want to have someday. It is probably one of the most big and challenging parts that when I think about even the whole house, even from the start when we had to redo the whole house, I still think that the back garden is one of the most biggest concerns for me, of how on earth how do I do that? I don't know anything. How do I do that? I know it's going to be a lot of just really hard work, and there's no way of getting around that. So I hope you guys are ready to see me sweat. So just like in all the other places, I think that a lot of it is going to have to be kind of working on just getting it so it's movable. Big picture, I'd like to be able to, take my tractor down here without feeling like I'm going to literally break it with every inch that I move, because there's so many stones and stuff everywhere. There's stones and there's trees and there's rocks and stones. But yeah, it's just a huge project, and I know that my plan is not, I know that I want to have it actually wild to some degree, but also sort of manicured. I'd like to have some nice paths that are empty, and I'd like to have the garden portions of them be maybe those are a little bit more wild, but still have, I don't know. I don't know what I want. I mean, I have this picture in my mind, but it's even hard to find pictures on the internet that are a similar vibe, because I don't know, it's just overwhelming when I don't actually know anything about gardening. But like I said, I didn't know anything about house construction, and look at that beautiful house that I have. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking about how overwhelmed I am, and I'm just going to show you where we're at this early spring day. The river is raging because of all of the snow that has melted. We do not ever get this much snow, and all that water's got to go somewhere. So the creek is over there, obviously, and this little inlet is often wet. If it's a wet time, this is wet. So I'm not sure what the best bet is, if I should try to figure out some drainage for this area or what. I think it can get kind of stagnant and stinky and flyy and yucky. So I feel like there's something that could maybe be done for that. I've been thinking about trying to make a plan on paper of what I want. And of course, I've got that big stone right there. This big stone. I mean, lots of stones obviously are all around, and they are not going to be moved. But trying to figure out a way, because the smaller stones, trying to find a way that, plants can actually grow and because it is so stony. There's like, this is such a stony area. It is so beautiful. So beautiful. I love to see the way the water goes around the stones and all of the little ice that's around it, and just gorgeous. And of course you can see my beautiful stone wall back there. There's so much potential in this forest. So beautiful. So honestly, thinking about the way that it first looked when I got the house, the forest was so much more overgrown, and taking out a bunch of trees and just kind of smoothing the ground has made such a big difference. But honestly, I'm still wondering if it might need, you know, another day or two of excavator work, one way or another, to just try to smooth things over a little bit, because it's a lot to do by hand. I mean, there are stones everywhere. And with the work that was done with the septic system, it made a lot, I think, of a stronger drop there. And I think it'd be good to smooth that out a bit too. Of course, I wouldn't want to totally lose that stone right there, because that's a pretty cool one. But when I think about paths going down, you know, you want to have not a super steep grade. So as always, I would like to, you know, when the days are nice, start getting some work done, because earlier in the season, I feel like there's less likely to have little slithering friends around. And I would just soon not meet any of those, especially on all these stones. Picking up a stone, ugh, terrifying. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. There's still a lot of little scrawny trees that need to be taken out. And I know I tried cutting a bunch of the smaller trees and stuff last year, and a lot of them are just not Abby clipper trees. They need something bigger than that. So of course, maybe I could do some sort of a, I know my friend has like a little limb cutter or something, like a small, it's like a mini chainsaw sort of thing. Maybe I should get something like that. I don't know. I did have this idea of, imagine somehow, so I have outlets outside, higher outlets for the patio eventually. And I had this picture in my mind of like, if somehow, because I thought about having like posts on the four corners of the patio so that you could string lights, or you could maybe it would be some sort of a vine, maybe more than just 4 posts, but something. I like the idea of stringing vines, and I like the idea of stringing lights. And even if the lights came all the way in sort of like a swooshy way all the way out into the forest, wouldn't that be so enchanting? Like a little walkway of lights so that you could walk out at night, and somehow strung in the trees. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. But I feel like that could be really, really beautiful and just so inviting from going out, if you wanted to go outside and not being like, okay, yeah, I'll try to go out to the fire pit or something that we have, but I don't want to step on a stone and break my foot. It would just be like a beautiful, that sounds so gorgeous. I also really like the idea of like archways. I've seen where there are like multiple archways going in like a path, and then you could have flowers vining over them. That would also be so beautiful. So many options and stuff. And I know that it's going to be a process. Yeah. But truly, we've had, so I guess we had 2 summers. 2 summers? 3 summers? Maybe 3 summers of working at the house. And each time, like each season, it gets better. And especially when the excavator comes, it makes such a big, big difference. I've been questioning if I should put some bushes and hostas and stuff back here, or even some like daffodils. When I'm looking at this ground, it just looks so rough, you know? I wish that it could just be all smoothed over with nice soil. That would be like the dream, but there's a lot to go before that happens. So I don't know, it's a possibility that I'll put some some bushes out here to kind of get them growing this season. I've also considered some flowering trees, you know, maybe like even fruit trees. It's hard because you need them to have sunlight. So I don't know, it's a lot to think about. I need Monty Don here. He would help me. I'm gonna do the best with what I have, and that's what things are looking like here. I just wanted to show you kind of the before of this season, and like I said, I don't know how much I'm actually gonna get done here this season, but I would really love to get started with the process of smoothing. Everything just in the house everything outside the house just needs to be smoothed and cleaned up, and I guess that is the overall goal for this season. I forgot to mention that another goal for this season would be to tear down this shed that is kind of just an eyesore, and I've never actually been able to open the door to it, so it's really not that terribly useful. I also really want to work on cleaning out the other shed and making it maybe even look a little bit better and definitely more useful. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I might be a little premature in getting you guys excited about spring and summer plans here at the house because I know that winter is not over yet. And a lot of times, honestly, we have a big snowstorm in March. I would be fine with not having one considering all of the snow that we got this year, but I actually don't have a say in it. So we shall see. I do know that it's still going to take a little while for all this snow to melt and all the banks and everything, but I'm really excited about this season and getting things looking a little bit nicer outside because, you know, we've been focused so much on the inside and it looks gorgeous and I love it every day. I love it, but the outside is kind of a mess. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already because we have lots of exciting things happening this spring and in the years to come. I can see it. I just like the back with the patio and then the beautiful garden and seeing the creek and everything. It just sounds so amazing. I can't wait to show you guys the picture in my head once it comes in real life, to show it to you. So exciting. So as always, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time on A Drill and a Dream.